When was the last time you heard genuinely good news? If you watch the news or open your news app, it can be overwhelming. Too much. The news feels negative and it can make us anxious. With good reason, some of it. 3 positive news stories that will restore your faith in people and make you feel better. It's just an 11-minute listen. And while you're listening, you'll learn some great English vocabulary along the way. What better way to start 2026? And what better way for your brain to be doing its English language learning today? Don't forget to listen more than once so that you really get the benefit. First of all, the remarkable actions of a man from Staten Island in New York. This makes our first positive news story. The man's name, Wael Al-Salway, and he runs a small shop selling groceries, food in other words. In the UK, his type of shop would be called a corner shop, but in the New York area, it's called a bodega. Bodega. That's American English being influenced by a Spanish word. And Wael Al-Salway, the manager of Zach's Finest Deli and Grocery, that's the name of the shop, well, he's also well known on TikTok as Island Ock because he's doing something that is changing his community. Wael Al-Salway is giving free food to children who bring him their school reports with good grades. A school report is the report a child gets from school on their progress or lack of, and a grade A, B, C, D, E shows the child and the parents how well the child's doing at school. Wael Al-Salway says students who get 80 to 90% in their grades can choose whatever they want from the store, and those who get 70 to 80% can take home $10 worth of food items. Students with lower grades who show improvement also get treats, as do children with perfect attendance at school. That means they go every day and don't miss any, or ones who are made Student of the Month. So students' grades, children's grades, can be a letter, A, B, C, D, E, or as here, expressed as a percentage. These children, many from families in Staten Island who struggle with money, they're being given motivation, incentive to work hard at school. An incentive, INCENTIVE, is something that motivates you or encourages certain behavior. In this case, it's good grades for groceries. Wael Al-Salway started this initiative in 2023. Initiative, that's INITIATIVE, meaning a new project designed to solve a problem. He started it because he noticed how many children didn't seem to get enough to eat. And he thought, why not give them a reason to work hard in school at the same time? And it's interesting, given the choice of free groceries, many children opt for things like eggs, milk, bread, or rice to take home to their family, a sure sign of poverty. Poverty. It all started with Wael Al-Salway giving one child the promise of a milkshake for improving his grades. But now lots of children come to the shop, and it's become quite well known through TikTok. Al-Salway is from Yemen, and his 3 children still live there. Wael Al-Salway says, I've got my own kids back home and I miss them. So it makes me happy to see other kids happy. And it's having quite an effect. Children are studying harder and come into the shop to show Al-Salway their school reports, what they've achieved. Some bring their friends along, and parents come into the shop to thank him. What a remarkable thing. One person, one small shop, making a real difference. So that's one story that you might call heartwarming. But let's look at something else that literally may make us feel better. Researchers have been studying why hugs make us feel so much better. A hug, H-U-G, is when you put your arms around someone, when you hold them close. Children all seem to know the value of hugs. even if the adults forget. According to research, when we hug someone who we trust and care about, our bodies release oxytocin. That's oxytocin, OXYTOCIN. People sometimes call oxytocin the bonding hormone because it helps us feel connected to other people. But here is another effect of it. At the same time as your oxytocin level is rising when you have a hug, another chemical, cortisol, is reducing, going down. Cortisol, cortisol, that's your stress hormone, or so it's known. When you're anxious or worried, your cortisol level can be high. So basically, a proper hug is doing two things at once in your body. It's increasing the feel-good chemical oxytocin while reducing the stress chemical cortisol. It's like a chemical seesaw. And you may remember that I talked about oxytocin and cortisol in subscription episode 141 called Why Cortisol is Not All Bad. It's well worth understanding these brain chemicals. Understanding humans is not just about their psychology, it's also about their brain chemistry. Both are important. Anyway, the researchers found that warm hugs, close physical contact with someone you love can actually lower your heart rate, reduce anxiety, and even boost your immune system. My goodness, all from a hug. If there was a drug that did that, we'd all be taking it. But there isn't, just hugs. But probably we knew this already, didn't we? We've always known that this matters, and hugs are particularly important to children. Sometimes science is just catching up and providing evidence for things that human beings have known for thousands of years. Now, if you're enjoying these stories but you find it difficult to understand the English, then working on your basic vocabulary may help. Research I once saw said language learners sometimes take up to 10 years to learn the basic words in a language. Our course, The 500 Most Common Words, will make sure you're not one of those people. This course only uses the most common 500 words to make sure that you really know them. And when you start to speak, it can be surprising how much you can say with just the most common 500 words. After all, they make up 70 to 80% of our conversation, and this will make the podcast much easier for you. You'll be pleased you did. Right, back to our good news stories. The third one, have you ever looked after a child who has severe allergic reactions? An allergic reaction can happen in response to something like eating peanuts. If it's extreme, the reaction, it's called anaphylaxis. That's ANAPHYLAXIS. And I imagine that the word is similar in your language. If someone has an allergic reaction that is bad enough to cause possible anaphylaxis, they can die. And the person usually has to be injected with adrenaline to save their life and stop the reaction. So many people, including children with these extreme allergies, carry around what's known as an EpiPen, EPIPEN. As a parent of either your own child or when you're looking after other people's children, it can feel quite a responsibility to be given one of these EpiPens and told you must inject the child if they start to have severe allergic reaction and possible anaphylaxis. But at last, news in the UK and in other countries, I'm sure, this life-saving adrenaline can now be given in the form of a nasal spray. Nasal meaning you simply spray the liquid up the nose. Here. No need for needles or injections. The product in the UK is called EUR Neffy, Neffy, and it's being given out to people with serious allergies. EUR Neffy contains 2 milligrams of adrenaline. in a single-use nasal spray. Nasal just means of the nose, N-A-S-A-L. At the first sign of anaphylaxis, the user inserts the spray into the nose, into a nostril, and presses the button to release the full dose. The adrenaline goes through the lining of the nose, entering the body quickly, straight into the blood, or bloodstream as it's known. And this is even if the nose is blocked or the person is unconscious. There's no need to breathe it in. Research studies and real-world data show that EUR-Neffy delivers adrenaline just as well as a needle, making sure of a fast response in an emergency. The makers of EUR-Neffy say this may reduce hesitation or panic during a crisis. Well, I'm sure that's absolutely true. You can imagine there would be panic in this situation. How many more lives will be saved by a product like this? I know these news stories may seem small compared to the enormous challenges facing our world, but it's good to remember kindness like that of Wael Al-Salwe matters in the world. And we need to remember that our bodies are amazing. We've evolved for a long time, yet the effect of hugs is still huge. And that last news story shows the importance of progress and the ingenuity of scientists to make better medicines. Let's have a moment at the start of 2026 to enjoy the positives while learning some great English at the same time. Thank you so much for listening.